You think it was the rage that built you? Huh? That fury, that fire they sparked inside you, that storm you kept caged behind your teeth. You really believe that's what made you strong? Let me break it to you slowly, painfully, the only way truth ever arrives. Rage is cheap. Anyone can burn the world down when they're mad enough. That's easy. That's weak. You know what's hard? Huh? Real hard? Waking up every day, swallowing the same poison, hearing the same laughs behind your back, feeling the same blade twist in your chest from people you once swore you'd die for, and not snapping. That's discipline. That's real power. Not explosions, not tantrums. Control. Cold, calculated, silent control. That's what made you dangerous. You see, people got it twisted. They see a man walking, quiet, keeping to himself, not screaming, not swinging. They call him weak. They call him soft. But I know what that silence hides. I know the war inside your head. You've buried battles no one ever saw. You've bled in rooms with no windows. You've built empires out of ashes, your own ashes. You trained yourself to smile when everything inside you begged to scream. And that's why they're afraid of you. Not because you shouted, not because you broke something, but because you didn't. You could have. You wanted to, but you didn't. They pushed you, tested you, lied to your face, stabbed your back, and you just kept moving. You didn't beg. You didn't whine. You didn't throw a fit. You studied. You trained. You waited. You evolved. That's what real monsters do. Not bark, not bite. Just observe, sharpen, and when the moment comes, strike once. Silence again. You know who survives in the end? Not the loudest. Not the one with the biggest fists or the angriest screams. It's the disciplined. The one who shows up even when he's broken. The one who works when nobody's watching. The one who doesn't post his pain. Doesn't seek sympathy. Doesn't crumble when left alone. That's you. And they don't even see it coming, do they? They're too busy underestimating, laughing, mocking, thinking they've broken you because you didn't react. But that's the trap, isn't it? You weren't silent because you lost. You were silent because you were loading. Let them laugh. Let them think they've won. That's the funniest part. They think your quiet is weakness when it's actually your reload time. The calm before your storm. You're not done. You're just not loud about it. You're the kind of person who takes pain, turns it into fuel, takes betrayal, turns it into plans, takes loss, turns it into legacy. That's the kind of threat they can't measure, because you're not burning with rage anymore. You're freezing with purpose. And that, my friend, is scarier than any scream. They thought breaking you would be the end of your story. Nah, it was just the end of your kindness, the end of your softness. What's left is focused, brutal, disciplined, and that's the version they can't predict. You used to fight for people. Now, you fight for the vision, the future, the silence. And every step you take now, it terrifies them. Because you're not shouting. You're not swinging wildly. You're thinking. You're moving strategically. And that kind of danger, it doesn't come with warning signs. It comes with aftermaths. So remember this. Whenever you start to feel like you lost your edge, like you're too calm, too detached, remind yourself, rage is a flicker. Discipline is a flame. One dies quick, the other burns forever. You don't need to prove anything. Your scars already speak volumes. Your silence already screams louder than their noise. Keep walking. Keep working. And when the day comes, they'll see. They'll see exactly what they created. And it won't be rage that destroys them. It'll be the monster that patience built. You remember those nights you sat in silence, don't you? Eyes wide open, staring at a ceiling that never answered your questions. Those weren't just sleepless nights. They were sharpening sessions. You were molding yourself in the dark while the rest of them slept easy, thinking the game was over. They had no idea the real game hadn't even started. You weren't losing. You were transforming. Quietly. Painfully. Every betrayal. A lesson. Every failure. A map. Every lie they told you. A reminder of why softness had to die. They thought you were just suffering. Number, you were building. You were becoming. Piece by piece. Controlled, cold, focused. You didn't raise your voice. You raised your standards. And now look at them, still running their mouths, still trying to trigger the old version of you. They want that unfiltered rage, that emotional wreck, the guy who reacts, who pleads, who bleeds in front of them. But that version's dead. You buried him without a funeral. What stands in his place now is a man with eyes like a scalpel, precise and unmerciful. You're not here to entertain their drama anymore. You're not here to seek revenge either. You're here to build something that outlives the noise, to create results so real, so undeniable, that they won't have the guts to say your name without swallowing regret. And they will regret it. Not because you got angry, but because you didn't. Because you didn't break down in front of them. Because you didn't go begging for closure. You just vanished. You vanished into a darker version of yourself. And in that void, you trained. You leveled up. You grew into a silence so loud it echoes in every room you once stood in. And that echo, it haunts them. Because it reminds them they lost something irreplaceable. You, your presence, your loyalty, your time, your mind. And when someone like you detaches, that's not just loss, that's devastation. But let me tell you why discipline is feared more than rage. Rage is messy, it's reactive, it's emotional. It burns everything, including the one who holds it. But discipline? Discipline is a scalpel. Clean, silent, sharp. It doesn't shout. It doesn't warn. It doesn't miss. You didn't survive all this by accident. You didn't walk through hell just to be average. You didn't lose everything just to play nice again. You were forced into a corner. Life left you no choice but to evolve. And you didn't evolve into a bigger monster. You became the surgeon of your own resurrection. Controlled, calculated, quiet. You stopped reacting. That's when you became lethal. That's when the fears started creeping in around them, because they couldn't read you anymore. They couldn't play your emotions like piano keys anymore. You stopped being the puppet, you cut the strings, and suddenly you were the one holding the scissors. That silence, that's power. That stillness, that's intelligence. You watch, you measure, you wait. And when you move, it's surgical, it's final. It's something no rage-fueled fool can ever compete with. People forget. Rage is loud, but undisciplined. It'll punch a wall and break its own hand. Discipline builds the wall that traps their entire world. You don't waste energy anymore. You don't chase closure. You give them distance. You don't argue. You replace. You don't scream, "Watch me." You just let your actions be the nightmare they never wake up from. You became the thing they can't out-talk, can't outlast, can't outrun. You didn't let rage drive you. You let silence sculpt you. And now you walk different. You speak less. You move smarter. You think sharper. You execute faster. That's what danger really looks like. Not a beast screaming in the streets, but a ghost in the system. Unseen, unbothered, unmatched. You went from being the story they laughed at to the silence that exposes their weakness. And you did it not by losing control, but by mastering it. You know what really scares them now? It's not that you're angry. It's that you're not. It's that you don't flinch anymore. That you don't explain yourself. That you don't react when they poke. You just stare. You just nod. You just disappear. That's the part they didn't plan for. They were ready for the chaos, the yelling, the breakdowns, but they weren't ready for the version of you that doesn't need an audience, that doesn't chase answers, that doesn't bleed for people who'd watch you die and still say it was your fault. You became a mystery they can't decode anymore. And people hate what they can't understand. They fear what they can't control. And you turned into something ungovernable. See, that discipline, it's not just about routines and hard work. No, it's about restraint. It's about denying your own urges to slap the hell out of someone who deserves it. It's about smiling while they gossip, knowing damn well the truth would burn their whole lie-built world to the ground. It's about walking away when everything in you wants to throw hands. That's not weakness. That's God-tier strength. And most people don't have it. They act on impulse. You act on principle. They chase validation. You chase legacy. They want attention. You want results. And that's why they hate you, even when they say they love you. They don't know how many times you could have exposed them, destroyed them, humiliated them, but you didn't. Not because you couldn't, but because you're too focused, too evolved, because their drama is a distraction and you got bigger demons to kill inside every day. You think they could survive what you've survived? You think they could carry your weight without collapsing? Number they'd fold, they'd cry, they'd post quotes online and beg for pity. You didn't do that. You went silent. You built in the dark. And now? Now the light doesn't even tempt you. You found peace in shadows. You found home in the chaos. And that's the type of discipline that separates you from the herd. You know what's wild? You used to explain yourself, defend yourself, try to prove your intentions, make people see your heart, make them understand you were different, that you were loyal, that you were real. And all it did was drain you, hurt you, exhaust you. Now, you let them misunderstand you. You let them assume. You let them paint whatever image they want, because you don't owe anyone clarity anymore. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself progress. And every time you bite your tongue instead of snapping back, every time you walk away instead of exploding, every time you choose growth over revenge, you win. Quietly, permanently, painfully for them. And that's what discipline does. It changes your appetite. You stop craving attention and start craving results. You stop needing to be liked and start needing to be respected. You stop begging for love and start demanding loyalty. You stop explaining your worth and start living like it's unquestionable. You become so solid that no storm can shake you, so sharp that no lie can dull you, so silent that your absence screams louder than their presence ever could. That's power. That's what they fear, not rage. Rage is predictable. But discipline is unpredictable. It's the sniper in a world of loud gunshots, the slow drip of poison instead of the obvious stab. It's surgical, tactical, lethal. And now you move like a shadow. No noise, no warning, just impact, just change, just results. You're not here to make a scene. You're here to build one. One where your enemies don't even know they've lost until they're buried in the silence you left behind. That's who you are now. That's what they made when they broke the old you. Not a monster, not a villain, but something worse. A weapon, refined by restraint. A danger, honed by discipline. You're not driven by rage. You're driven by purpose. And that's why they can't sleep anymore. Let's talk about that silence again, because it's not just a lack of noise. It's a language. And you speak it fluently now. It's not that you don't feel anymore. It's that you've learned to channel those feelings into something unstoppable. That fire, you didn't let it consume you. You made it your forge. You didn't scream when they betrayed you. You didn't post when they mocked you. You didn't beg when they replaced you. You just built day after day, brick after brick. While they laughed, you planned. While they partied, you plotted. While they pointed fingers, you pointed inward and fixed every broken piece they left behind. And now, look at you. Not louder, not more emotional, just more precise, more unshakable. That's not a glow-up. That's not revenge. That's discipline in its final form, becoming untouchable. And what they don't realize is they trained you. Every time they disrespected you, they sharpened your edges. Every time they left you out, they fueled your focus. Every time they let you down, they lifted your standards. You were forged by the same hands that tried to break you. That's the irony. They built the weapon they now fear. They just didn't expect you to carry it this well. They thought pain would destroy you. They didn't know pain was your professor. And failure? That was your syllabus. Betrayal? Your textbook. You studied every cut, every loss, every tear, and you graduated with honors in never again. Now, you don't just walk different, you calculate every step. You don't just breathe different, you use every breath to stay 10 moves ahead. They can't bait you anymore. You've seen too much, felt too deep, bled too long. And when you realize you're the only one you can count on, that's when everything changes. That's when the noise becomes useless. The fake smiles lose value. The compliments sound hollow. Because you've built something they can't touch. An inner code. A standard. A silence that no lie, no manipulation, no drama can penetrate. But here's the thing.
I walk alone because pack animals die together. I learned that the hard way. I watched loyalty turn into weakness. I watched the ones I trusted fall in unison, like dominoes rigged to collapse at the first gust of fear. I saw unity become a cage, and togetherness rot into dependency. I was there when the pack bled out under the weight of its own comfort, and I swore to myself, never again. I don't need the noise of the herd. I don't need the safety of numbers. I don't need the illusion of unity when betrayal always hides behind smiling eyes. I don't follow because I wasn't built to kneel. I lead myself, even if the road leads through fire. I don't ask for help because I know the cost of relying on others. Every outstretched hand I ever took turned into a blade in my back. Every shoulder I leaned on eventually collapsed. And every promise spoken to me came wrapped in lies. I am done bleeding for people who never bled for me. The path I walk is quiet, is jagged, is cruel, but it's mine. The silence doesn't scare me anymore. It speaks louder than false affection ever did. When it's quiet, I can hear the truth. I can hear the echo of my own breath. I can feel the pulse of my purpose in my chest. I wasn't made for comfort. I was made for war. There's a storm inside me now. And it doesn't calm. It sharpens. The more the world tries to break me, the more precise I become. I don't flinch anymore. I don't hesitate. I don't hope. Hope is for those waiting to be saved. I don't wait. I don't beg. I don't pray for someone to come rescue me. I became my own salvation. I burned the weakness out of myself. Every tear I ever shed turned to ash. Every scar on my body is a vow. Every ounce of pain I endured was fuel. And now I carry fire in my veins. I've tasted loss. I've swallowed regret. I've choked on betrayal. And I spit it all back in the face of the world. There's nothing left to take from me. I already died once. The soft version of me. The naive one. The one who believed in people. The one who thought love could fix everything. That version is buried and gone. Now all that remains is this. A version forged in agony and hardened by isolation. And yet, I don't curse the pain. I thank it, because it taught me the truth. It taught me that love, with conditions, is just manipulation. That loyalty without strength is suicide. That not everyone deserves access to my soul. That most would rather watch me drown than lift a finger. I walk alone because when the sky falls, no one's going to catch me. I walk alone because when the knives come out, the ones beside you always run first. I walk alone because I refuse to be buried in the same grave as cowards who never earned the right to stand beside me. This is not bitterness. This is clarity. I see people for who they are now, desperate to belong, addicted to approval, craving validation like air. I watch them sell their souls for acceptance, watering themselves down until they disappear. That's not strength, that's surrender. I will never blend in. I will never soften my edge just to be liked. I don't care about being understood. I don't care about fitting in. I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. I don't carry a heart anymore, not in the way the world expects. Mine doesn't beat for comfort. It beats like a war drum. Every thud is a declaration. I am still here. I am still standing. And I am not done. Let the rest chase comfort. Let them trade purpose for popularity. Let them kneel if that's what makes them feel safe. But not me. I am not safe. I am not soft. I am not tame. I'm the outlier. I'm the weapon sharpened in shadows. I'm the one who walks through hell without blinking. I'm the one who doesn't break when everything falls apart. I build something stronger out of the rubble. My solitude is my sanctuary. I don't fear the dark. I became it. I made peace with being alone because alone is where I found the truth. Alone is where I heard my soul speak. Alone is where I stopped being what they wanted and became what I needed. I walk alone because I choose to. Because the pack slows you down. Because the pack breeds weakness. Because when the wolves come, the pack dies screaming together. I'll die standing. I'll die silent. But I'll die on my feet, knowing I never compromised. I earned every inch of this ground I stand on. No one gave me anything. I clawed my way out of the pit. I dragged myself from the dirt. And now I see the world from a place most will never reach, because they're too afraid to climb alone. I lost a lot to get here, but what I gained is worth everything. I gained clarity. I gained strength. I gained the unshakable truth that I don't need anyone to complete me. I am already whole. I am already enough. I am already more than what they said I'd be. Let the world keep whispering that I need to change, that I need to soften, that I need to let people in. Number, I know what happens when I let people in. I know what happens when I open the door. I know what happens when I trust. And I won't make the same mistake twice. The road is lonelier now, but it's also cleaner. It's free of false friends, free of fake love, free of the noise. Just me, my fire, my mission, and this brutal, beautiful clarity. I walk alone because I was never meant to be part of the pack. I was meant to lead, to endure, to rise, to walk where others won't, and survive what others can't. So I walk alone, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I have nothing left to lose. The world took everything from me. It ripped me apart piece by piece, until all that remained was the raw, unfiltered version of who I was meant to be. It stripped away the illusions, the comforts, the lies. It left me staring into the abyss, and I did not blink. I did not break. Pain forged me. Loss refined me. Betrayal sharpened me. Every scar carved into my soul is a story, a lesson, a warning. The fire that was meant to destroy me only burned away the weakness. Now, all that's left is something unyielding, something unstoppable. There is no fear in me, no hesitation, no doubt. The world has already done its worst, and yet I still stand. So tell me, what more can it take? What more can it steal? What more can it break? I have nothing left to lose, and that makes me the most dangerous thing alive. They wanted me to be afraid, to kneel, to surrender, but they failed to understand something vital. A person with nothing to lose is a person with nothing to fear.